Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the other woman or the other women, and this is assuming you're a woman in a heterosexual relationship, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. You can apply this also to say same-sex relationships where your person is in masculine energy. So let's talk to the feminines here. If the third party in your connection with your person was another person, let's say a partner or a girlfriend or somebody he cheated on you with, or even other multiple women like that. Then you are in the right place here, because I'm going to talk to you about the kind of emotions that you might have experienced and what not to do and how not to feel when you're ascending from your old self into your higher self. So if the karmic situation or the karmic person or the third party person is another woman or another feminine energy, during the process of awakening, or after that major break with your person, you might have seen that third party, that woman, that feminine, as the reason for your breakup, as the nemesis, as the devil energy, as a lot of things that you could see them as, except as someone in your level, someone just like you, someone that could also be tricked and manipulated just like you were. And the one feeling that I'm sure a lot of you and I'm saying why not me, because but then a lot of us, one reason that one feeling that we don't feel for the third party, especially in the beginnings of our journey, is sympathy. We see them as the reason behind our pain, as the reason behind the breakup of our relationship, the reason behind what we feel, what we're going through, and we also see them as the queens and the shining star in the life of the masculine. And we start idolizing them. We might even get jealous of them. We might think that, oh, the masculine that was treating us unfairly and that was cheating on us and that was lying to us, manipulating us, and being hurtful to us, and treating us like a non-existent person, is out there treating her like a goddess. And we feel that would cause us to feel bad for ourselves, and that might delay our healing process. But what's important is to not lose touch with reality of what the person that was dealing with you, what your masculine really was. Who was he? And you don't necessarily get to see this when the infatuations are strong, when the feelings are strong, when you're into them, when it's all about unconditional love, when the hurts are very fresh, when the wounds are fresh. You don't necessarily see that. Even if you see all of their flaws, you still love them for that, and you still accept those flaws. Especially if you're an empath, a big part of you still believes that there is an angel in all of that devil that occupies his being, and you're still looking for that white dot in the sea of darkness. And I always see that white dot in the darkness, like the yang symbol in the yin yang circle. So even if you're aware of all their flaws and shortcomings and karma and everything, you still don't blame them necessarily for things that went between you. You either blame yourself, which is one of the major problems with toxic femininity, which I also explain in another video that I have. Please check it out if you haven't. I completely talk like that whole post is about different toxic patterns in a toxic feminine, and one of them is lack of self-worth and self-doubt and lack of self-confidence, and that is the reason that you might initially blame yourself for the pain that you're experiencing and the failure of the connection. And if you don't, right away you put all of the weight onto the so-called karmic or third party or the other woman or the other women, depending on how many people your masculine was in contact with, and you see them as that nemesis, as that energy that broke everything up and destroyed everything. But as you heal your wounds, as you heal, and I, depending on where in your journey you are, you may relate to this, or if you're just starting into your awakening and ascension journey, you will get here, or you might be way past this point. But eventually you get to a point that you're healed and you're aware of yourself. You're aware of your triggers. You are at a safe, healthy point in yourself, and you can clearly see all the clouds, all the uncertainty, all the pain, all the glare, and everything is gone. And especially right now with the energies that are surrounding us, a lot of clarity. This is the eclipse season. A lot of clarity is coming out, and a lot of karmic cycles are closing. And one of the most important karmic cycles is that forever turning cycle of running and chasing between the masculine and feminine, and the uncertainty between them, and the secrets and everything. So once things start coming to light, even if you don't get that clarity from your person, that the clarity that you need in your own specific case is downloaded into you. It's channeled to you by your guides, by the spirit, by your ancestors, and or your own intuition starts telling you what you need to hear in order to become aware of the nature of your connection. And then you start to see things for what they are. A lot of the masculines, whether they are your true divine masculine or they were just a karmic that you perceived as your divine counterpart, a lot of them are low value toxic men or masculines, very underdeveloped, immature, and the only reason that you were attracted to them or you were perceiving them as your divine counterpart was the kind of energy vibration that you were in at the time. Once you grow out of that toxic state and toxic environment, and your energy level is higher up, and your vibration vibrating higher, you start to see all the toxicity. You start to see how this person was not responsive to you, how they were full of promises and like words and no actions, that they were lying, they never gave you closures when they left you, they have ghosted you, they have gaslighted you, they have played mind games with you, they have cheated on you in every possible way, maybe even as little as just emotionally cheating with with other women, or physically cheating. that they have been attention seekers in their environments, that they have never been stable, that they were really not all they seem, and um, they were not those shining, what do you call them, knights in shining armor, that they didn't have all they said they did. Um, and your eyes open to the reality, and um, then you start thinking to yourself that someone that has been like that all of their life, a lot of them are narcissists as well, or have narcissistic tendencies. Um, Somebody like that who has been lacking such self-love, who has been lacking self-respect, who is not self-aware, who fills their voids by other people's validations and attentions, who has been jumping relationships and connections for their advantage, um, who has been manipulating their environment and are manipulated by their environment, who has been feeding off of drama and feeding into drama. You just go back and look at your connection, and you will see, if not all of these things that I'm mentioning, but a lot of these things are the essence of like the backbone of these spiritual awakenings. Is a very toxic relationship, relationship that triggers you with all your shadows and all your insecurities and all your wounds. And that is because that person is your mirror. They also have all these problems. They also have that lack of self-integrity, that lack of integrity, that lack of self-love. They are master manipulators, and somebody who has lived their entire life like that, then you start thinking, if you haven't done so yet, and you're worried about a third party or about somebody having a leash on your masculine, think to yourself, is somebody that has lived like that and has treated you like that, are they really able to treat someone else like a queen? And don't fall for social media pictures, don't fall for posts, don't fall for gossip, because these people are able, your masculines are able to paint a very beautiful picture for the outside world, just like they did in the beginning for you, and you believe them. And that is one of the other aspects of a narcissistic connection, is to paint that a narcissist paints a beautiful picture of themselves on the surface for their environment, and all their charm and all their glory and all the their energy attracts people to believe all of that. But if once you're out of the toxic energies and lower vibrations, and you heal your insecurities and you heal your wounds, then you don't have any spots for these people to hurt you or affect you. You get to see the truth. You get to see their dark side. You get to see all of their shortcomings, and how it hasn't been just you. It's never been just you. In fact, a lot of these masculines have hurt and treated unfairly a lot of people, a lot of feminine energies, and a lot of people around them. And the person that they chose over you, or the person that they left you for, the people that have been in their life before you, and the ones that they cheated on you with, and the ones that might have come afterwards, they are all the victims of their behavior. They are all they prey on these feminine energies, and somebody who has been chosen over you was chosen because they were a new supply. I strongly suggest that you check out videos on narcissists, and there is a lot of videos on YouTube speaking about narcissistic behavior and narcissistic supply and the kind of people that attract narcissists, and um, how narcissists are never keeping only one supply. They always have a stash of different supplies with different colors, different ethnicities, different capabilities for them to feed on, and to it's like a vampire pretty much. They need multiple supplies to feed them in multiple areas. And once you look at your masculine's karmic, um, and that person is just another person like you, but at a time she could provide something that you didn't or that you couldn't, and that's why your masculine jumped to a connection with her, and eventually at some point she doesn't have something that he needs, so he jumps either back to you or to the third person, and so on and so forth, and to the fourth person and to the fifth person. And these masculines always have, like I said, multiple supplies to feed on, and it never stops at one or two people, or if it does, it's just a rotation between these people. And that is why a lot of them, in all these videos and card readings and psychic readings that we hear, having a hard time choosing, it's exactly because of that. It's not that they are divine masculines dealing with karma. Well, maybe they are, but a big part of it is that these people are they have a strong narcissistic issues, and they need multiple supplies. It's just a part of the diagnosis. It's what narcissism is. And really, it's very difficult to, like, right now, as of now, there is no cure for narcissism. And first thing is that if you tell them they're a narcissist, they are not going to buy it for obvious reasons. A lot of them don't go for therapy because they don't believe there is anything wrong with them. Again, for obvious reasons, they're narcissists. They think they're perfect, right? So there is nothing wrong. Why do they need help? So a lot of them don't even seek help. And I'm not even sure that I did try to study a little bit to see if a spiritual awakening works on a narcissist. But hey, if there is this a spiritual part to our bodies, and then there is this physical part to us as human beings here. And I'm not a medical expert, so I'm not going to dig deep into that unless I find something and I share with you. But the point of this post is, if you're sitting there worrying about a karmic partner that your person left you for, or is with currently, if they are married in a relationship, if they cheated on their wife with you, if they cheated on you with somebody else, if they left off and married somebody else, in any other way, if there was another person or another bunch of people meddling with your connection, it's not them, it's your person. I don't even want to say it's your person, because you choose who is your person. It's up to you to call somebody who's hurt you, somebody who has not been there for you, somebody who has treated you less than you deserved, and hasn't given you the love and affection that you deserved, hasn't given you anything, and has dragged you on, and has never been there for you for however long your connection has lasted so far, or maybe even across lifetimes. It's up to you whether you want to call them your person. But what I'm trying to say is the other women are just as victim to this kind of relationship as you are. Maybe it's just a different kind of karma. And that's why I think that divine counterparts, it is very likely that they also have karma between them. And whether this person is your forever person or it's just a karmic on your path that you perceived as your forever person, there is karma between you, and there is karma between them and the other women in their life. And it's not like somebody is dragging away from you. It's just that this person is keeping multiple supplies for them to feel good about themselves and to not run dry, basically, because they have nothing to give themselves. All of their being is fed from outside sources. It's very difficult for these people to stay alone. If you know about their lives and you look into their lives, they've never been alone from early ages. They might have married, they might have had many relationships, they might have had many open relationships, but one thing is that they were never stable and independent and on their own feet. And once you get to this point and you realize that the other person is not a devil, the other person is not the reason, even if things look so rosy and happy in their connection right now, and you think that she is getting treated better than you are, there is definitely a reason behind it. That person is being used for something she has to offer. It could be either their social status, their financial status, their that they look good on paper, that they are good to brag about, that they are feeding his ego still, and they didn't hold their ground like you did, and that it's just easier to be in a relationship with someone who is not necessarily poking at your wounds like a feminine does, because just as your masculine has been the mirror to your wounds and to your shadows, you have been also to them, and that's why they run, because they don't want to face it. You trigger a lot of unhealed crap that they need to look at, that they need to pay attention to, and then they need to heal, and they don't want to, or they don't have the energy to, or they don't have the guts to, because trust me, ladies or feminines, it's if you have been healing yourself, you have been doing one of the most difficult things that anybody can do in their entire life, is to look back into the darkness and stir the crap and see what's there worth grabbing and what's there worth saving and adding to your soul. And it's if you have been doing that, pat yourself in the back and congratulate yourself, because you are a much better, stronger human being today than you were when you were dealing with your with your masculine. And if these people are choosing an easier connection, it's just to not having to deal with that, and they're not as strong as you are, and they're not as brave as you are. Then that's why they're staying in karmic situations, and his karmic is the last person responsible for it. It might look like there is something leashing them, there is something controlling them, there is something manipulating them, and I know there is a lot of toxic readings on Facebook that are bashing these feminines, and they're bashing these karmic mothers, and they're bashing the third party energy for being the only devil source in your masculine's life. it's okay to talk about the wounds of a narcissistic mother, or wounds of a narcissistic partner, or their effect on the kind of karma that's going on between them. But they are not the reason for your masculines being stuck. They are as much victim in these situations, and as he is, as you have been. And he has also manipulated them into believing they're somebody important. He has also manipulated them into believing that they have to give to him, that they have to share themselves with him, that they have to that there is nobody else better for them than these masculines. And trust me, a lot of these women have people outside their connection that matches their energy and their character a lot better than these masculines. But they must be suffering from some kind of toxic femininity that I discussed in my other post, that is keeping them in these connections. Otherwise, every time that your masculine comes back to you, every time that they reach back out to you, they are cheating on that partner. They are cheating on that connection that they're having with whoever they chose. And you have to ask to yourself, do I really want this person back? Do I want somebody back that has been using our connection as a revolving door? Is he really my person? And trust your instincts, trust your intuition, because your gut never lies. And always know that the person that you call yours, or the person that you see as your forever partner when you are 15, when you're 16, when you're 20, when you're 30, when you're 40, they don't necessarily have to always be the same person. For the same reason that the love of your teen ages, your teen times, your high school times might feel funny to you, or you might laugh at the kind of person that you loved at the time. As you grow spiritually and as you heal yourself, your standards change, and your perception of life changes, and your boundaries change, and you change. That's why, because once you change, everything around you, everything that you want from life also changes. And once you start vibrating at a higher level, once you're healthier, once you're you don't have those wounds anymore to be triggered, or even if they are still triggered, you're aware of it, and you're not giving to it, and it doesn't shake your foundation anymore. Then you don't even feel that much thirst for your masculine to come back to you, or to reach out to you. And I feel that is the story of a lot of feminists who have ascended and awakened, is that they're like at a point of whatever, like if he comes back, whatever, then I deal with him then. And a lot of them are not even waiting anymore. And if you are waiting, and if you are triggered, and if you are feeling jealousy and envy for his karmic, then what's really happening is it's a trigger for you to heal something inside yourself. And I kept, whenever I'm getting these downloads and talk to my angels and guides, I keep telling them, hey, things like betrayals and infidelity and cheating, at least I as a person, or I don't think, I think every female, every feminine energy, or even everyone, let's say, let's not group it, everyone, I don't think it ever becomes okay. It is never okay. You would never fully heal from you might fully heal from an incident of cheating and betrayal and manipulation, and deception, but you never fully get to a point to not ever be triggered by the idea of betrayal. And that I can say for sure for me, that if at any time the idea of being betrayed comes up, it is a big trigger for me. And as much as I healed the incidents that I have been betrayed in, and have forgiven those people and have let them go, the idea of it, or the feeling that you can get when you're betrayed, it is never fully healed, and it's still triggering. And what was channeled back to me was, it's okay to be triggered, as long as you're aware of it, and as long as you don't let it turn your life upside down and turn you upside down and break you apart. You're aware of it, you feel a little bit, and then you let it go. So if you're still feeling jealousy and envy, and if you're feeling that somebody else is holding your masculine hostage, and that he's such a poor victim of all this, and oh, he's just stuck, and he needs to come back to me, into my arms, and all that, and you're making excuses for their behavior, and you're trying to still feed to that scenario, and still feed them love and support and energy. Trust me, my friends, they are taking your energy, and they will invest it into their drama and toxicity. And you're just making your own progress longer, and you're just making it more difficult for yourself to get away from your situation, and from the toxicity, the toxic environment. And I bet that none of you have ever received closure from your person, and that's one of the main reasons that is said that the divine counterparts are. It's not a reason, but I'm going to compare these two. Never receiving closure in these toxic connections with these kind of masculines, and hearing from all the spiritual gurus and everybody else that the divine counterparts are hooked together by a rope, or by a string of love, or by a string of fate, or whatever, and there is really no getting away, or the cord is always keeping them together, and we always belong to each other. What you have to be careful here is that there is a big difference between somebody not giving you closure so they can come back and use you again time after time, and not getting closure because somebody, even if they're living across the world, and they're not ever coming back to you, you still feel them in your heart, and you still feel love for them, and you still respect them as a part of you, and you're okay releasing them. There is a big difference when you think about when you feel the feeling that you have, or think about how you feel when you think of these two situations, because one of the biggest narcissistic traits is that you never ever get closure from a narcissist. In a regular relationship, before you met this person, in your other relationships, in your exes, you either gave closure if you broke up, or you got closure from them. Even if it was the nastiest fight, even if it was the ugliest kind of breakup, or if it was a mutual thing, that if just the two of you walked away, you got closure. But from this person, you're not getting closure. You never got closure. You either got ghosted, you got there was silent treatment, there was gaslighting, there was picking up a fight and disappearing, and then talking back after 2 weeks, 2 months, like as if nothing happened, and there was never reference to what happened last time. Your person never brought it up, and you probably never brought it up either, because you didn't want to start another fight. You didn't want to pick up where you left. You were just hoping to build new. And so the elephant in the room, which is the betrayal, the manipulation, the deception, was never addressed. The other woman was never addressed. The cheat was never addressed. None of your problems were ever addressed. And you just ended up being used either physically, energetically, emotionally, every time that he walked back into your life, even if it was for a minute of just even stealing your smile, even if it was just for a little walk, even if it was just for a couple of dates, even if it was for anything, just a call for help, just I don't know, a drop by to say hi. Any kind of a reach out from your person has always left you feeling emptier and more betrayed than before, until I mean the very last time that he reached out, and the long period of detachment. But still, like, if your people are reaching out to you, just be very careful with the kind of energy that you feed them, and the kind of energy that they bring to your plate, because right now you're in a much better spot in your life, and you want to set healthy boundaries for yourself, and you want to protect your energy, and make sure that you fill your own cup and you fill the cups of those who return to you. And where was I? I was talking about getting closure, or not, and I was just saying that in these connections, usually you don't get closure, and it's not like your person ever. It's just you that didn't get closure from this person. If you know a little bit about his past, if you know how he treated others, you would also see that nobody really got closure from him. And he has left his other situations the same way, suddenly, out of nowhere. If there was a divorce, if there was a breakup, it was all an impulsive kind of action from his side. And these people just there is one of the habits of these masculines is to drop everything and take off when things get difficult, when things get serious, when things get when they start to feel a little bit of pressure. They just don't want to take any responsibility for anything, and the first thing they do is to run. So a narcissist never gives you closure because he wants to have that door open to come back to you. They want to have the opportunity to say hi to you if they see you. They want to know that they can call you if they need to. If they give you closure, then it becomes difficult. If they give you closure, then you might move on. You might get into other relationships. They have nothing to drag you on with. They have nothing to no strings attached with you anymore, and they have no control over you anymore. With not giving closure, the narcissists or these masculines right now, they want to have control over these connections. They want to have the say. They want to be able to behave any way that they wish to behave, and have you chained, and have you controlled, and have you under their spell, have you wait for them, have you as a side piece. And you should really think to yourself, do you really want to be that? Do you want to be an option? Do you want to be the other woman, the side piece, the late night call, the early morning text, the drunk text? Do you really want to be that? Do you want to be someone that they run to every time they're down, and bring and dump all their negative energy onto you and steal your light? Or do you want to be treated fairly? Do you want to be a queen in your life? Do you want to be successful and happy and worshipped like the goddess you are? And it's all up to you. Give yourself that closure. Even if that person is your true divine counterpart, um, even if you still feel that unconditional love for them, give yourself that closure. Tell yourself that you have grown in your life, and you have grown as a person, and like continually say in all my posts, um, know what you want from your life. And so when something comes to you, you know if that person is deserving of you or not. Because if you don't know what you want from your life, if you don't know yourself, if you don't know how to treat yourself, you will not be able to tell if what you're getting is unhealthy. One simple example is if you don't recognize an apple from an orange, and you really want an apple, and you go to a store and the person hands you an orange, you can't tell because you don't know what you want. You don't know what it looks like. And you might be, and you're lucky if you get an orange, because like an orange is good. Imagine getting an onion, or I don't know, or garlic for an apple, right? Something that you really don't want. No offense to garlics. Never mind. You get my point. That if you don't recognize what you want, if you don't recognize what it looks like, you will not be able to recognize it. If you won't be able to put your boundaries against what you don't want, and then it's not anybody else's fault. Then it's your fault if you allow crap into your life. Um, and you always can teach other people how to treat you by treating yourself that way. People look at what you do for yourself, and then they treat you like that. My masculine, for example, told me that I was a high maintenance person just because I was taking care of myself and I was living the best life I could, by the amount that I had, by the salary I was making, by the way I was living. And to him, I took it as an insult. And because I really am not a materialistic person, and none of you feminines are, I don't think. We are all empaths, and we are very emotional and spiritual people, and we don't have ties to materialistic life. But it just shows that that person saw uh, some amount of self-love in in um, in that pool of insecurity that I was dealing with at the time. And even that was unbearable to him, and even that was a no for him, because narcissists don't like anyone that values themselves. That's one reason that I'm asking you to check out videos on narcissists. And I'm going to share a link to Dr. Ramani's page. Her videos help me a lot. And you can pick and choose whatever videos that you want to check out. She is very knowledgeable in the field, and it will open your eyes to a lot of these behaviors, and where they're stemming from, and why you are a target of narcissistic behavior, and why you attracted a person like that into your life. Because some of it is the narcissist part, but you as a person also attracted this person into your life. You manifested this person into your life, and then it helps you see what in you did that, what kind of wounds, what kind of flaws, what kind of shortcomings, what kind of things, behaviors, or signals you were sending out that attracted this person into your life. And one of the biggest reasons for a narcissist to come to someone is their empathic, is that person's empathic feelings and behaviors. And a narcissist empath phenomena is it's very popular, it's very known, and she also talks about it in her videos. So make sure that you check them out. And just now that you're on your healing path, and now that you're in a better spot, try to be aware of all these things that attracts a narcissist into your life. And one of the reasons that your masculine may not be reaching out to you is that it's that you're not that kind of person anymore. You're not you put boundaries up for your energy, and you're not in the radar anymore, because you're vibrating higher. You're not in their eyesight anymore, and you're not feeding their needs anymore. And if they're not growing, if they're a true narcissist, first of all, they are more likely than not, they are not your divine counterpart. They were a karmic on your path um, to catalyze. They were like a catalyst on your way to your true counterpart. And I remember the time that this was so triggering for me. I would turn off the videos, any video, any person, any reader, any guides that would tell me that there is a chance that a person like this would just be your catalyst on your way, and he's not your forever person. And I would just cut it off right there. And so I give you every right to cut me off right now. But as you grow into your power and into your ascension, you would realize that you don't want to put yourself with a person in this kind of behavior. And at some point where you learn to respect people's free will, you also respect the fact that somebody wants to stay in their crap, and you let them stay in their crap. And you just because you can wash off crap of a baby because they can't help themselves. But masculines are adults. They should be able to help themselves. And if they're insisting in staying in their toxic environments and into their wounds of the past, then by all means, just stay. And trust that a person that is not growing as you grow is not your mirror. It's not your true counterpart, because your divine person, whether it is this person or not, they are growing at the same time that you are. You may not see it, but you will feel it. But if you still feel toxicity from your person, if you are still fed toxicity from them, then this is not your person. And I know that I covered a lot of things in this post, but it is, I think, very important. We're getting to a timeline that there is timelines collapsing. There is people's real selves are coming out. There is no more secrets. The secrets are coming out every day. And one of the secrets that is going to come out for you, one of the clarities that you're going to get, is whether the person that you've been perceiving as your forever person is really that or not. And if it's not that, then don't lose heart, because your person might be dealing with another karmic situation somewhere else that you may not have even met them yet. But trust that they are going through their ascension as well to meet you where the time is right. And if you see yourself as a divine feminine, if you see yourself in a spiritual journey, there is a counterpart for you. There is the masculine energy for you, whether they incarnated in this life or not. Their light is helping you grow as well. And it's a best thing that can happen to someone, to know that they have an equal person somewhere out there that is helping them grow, and that is on the path that they are, and is experiencing the same things that they are. And they are a mirror of our souls. Okay, guys, so try to not be jealous, no envy, no jealousy for a third party. They are also victims. There are also somebody else's counterpart. They are also on the path to ascension. They are allowed to learn their lessons, and they are just human beings like us. And at some point we're all going to zero out on our karma, and we're all going to be at the clean slate, and we can have the new beginning that we deserve. Okay, have a good weekend, and talk to you later.